What if the prophecy of the Chosen One was misinterpreted by the Jedi? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. The vision hits like a lightning strike. Qui-Gon Jinn gasps. His hand is on young Anakin Skywalker's shoulder on Tatooine. Then he sees it. The Jedi temple burning, younglings dead, Anakin with yellow eyes, a red lightsaber, slaughtering everyone. But the vision shifts. Now Anakin stands between two forces, pure light, absolute darkness. He extends both hands. He chooses neither. He chooses both. Balance. The Jedi got the prophecy wrong. Balance doesn't mean destroying the Sith. It means uniting what was severed. Light and shadow, together. The Council will never accept this, and their mistake will nearly destroy them all. Qui-Gon collapses forward on Tatooine, trembling. The boy grabs his arm. "Are you okay, sir?" The Jedi Master can barely speak. He's just seen two futures. One where the Jedi's rigid teaching destroys Anakin and dooms the galaxy. Another where Anakin becomes something new, something whole, something the Order has declared impossible for 1,000 years. The choice between these futures will be made in how they train this boy. And Qui-Gon knows the Council will choose wrong. He's kneeling in a slave hovel, sweat pouring down his face. Young Anakin Skywalker, 9 years old, has over 20,000 midichlorians. The highest count ever recorded. Impossible power. 2 paths ahead. And everything depends on which one they push him toward. Later that evening, after they've freed Anakin and departed Tatooine, Qui-Gon meditates in his quarters aboard the ship. He reaches deep into the Force, searching for clarity. The prophecy echoes in his mind. A virgins in the Force, born of no father. He will bring balance. For generations, the Jedi have interpreted this as a promise of the Sith's destruction. Balance means the light side's victory, the end of darkness. But what if they've been wrong? What if balance means something more literal? Qui-Gon thinks of nature, of ecosystems. Balance isn't one side dominating the other. It's both existing in equilibrium, day and night, summer and winter, life and death. All necessary, all part of the cycle. Has the Jedi Order become so arrogant that they've convinced themselves balance means their absolute rule? On Naboo, the political situation deteriorates rapidly. The Trade Federation's blockade tightens. Queen Amidala makes her decision to return and fight for her people. The plan is set into motion. Jar Jar will lead the Gungans in a diversionary battle. The Queen will infiltrate the palace, and the Jedi will handle whatever surprises await them. Qui-Gon feels the dark side pulsing beneath Theed like a corrupted heartbeat. Something ancient and malevolent waits for them there. As they approach the palace hangar, that presence reveals itself. A figure drops from above, landing in a crouch before them. He rises slowly, deliberately. Black and red Zabrak markings cover his face. Yellow Sith eyes burn with hatred. His hand moves to his belt and activates a lightsaber. Then another blade ignites from the opposite end. A double-bladed weapon, crimson and hungry for blood. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan ignite their own sabers simultaneously. The Sith smiles, showing pointed teeth, and attacks. The battle is a blur of motion. Darth Maul moves like water, his double-bladed weapon spinning in complex patterns that seem to attack from all angles at once. Qui-Gon parries a strike aimed at his head, then pivots to block another targeting his legs. Obi-Wan comes in from the side, forcing Maul to split his attention. For precious seconds they fight in the hangar, lightsabers crackling and hissing. Maul drives them back through sheer aggression, his acrobatic leaps and spins making him nearly impossible to predict. He kicks Qui-Gon in the chest, sending him stumbling, then whirls to engage Obi-Wan with a flurry of strikes that force the younger Jedi into full defense. They retreat into the palace, the fight moving through corridors and chambers. Maul is herding them somewhere, Qui-Gon realizes, toward a specific location. They emerge into the Theed generator complex, a vast chamber filled with massive plasma-generating columns and narrow walkways suspended over infinite drops. Energy crackles through the air. The sound is deafening, a constant industrial roar. Maul leaps onto a catwalk and the Jedi follow. Here, the fight becomes even more deadly. One misstep means death. The narrow walkway forces them to fight in a line, Qui-Gon in front and Obi-Wan behind. Maul takes full advantage, pressing Qui-Gon hard while using the confined space to prevent Obi-Wan from flanking. They move deeper into the complex, toward the generator core, where massive laser gates separate the plasma refinement chambers. These gates activate and deactivate in timed sequences, walls of deadly energy that slice through anything caught in their path. Maul times his attack perfectly, driving Qui-Gon through an opening just as the gates activate. Obi-Wan is separated, trapped several chambers back. Qui-Gon faces Maul alone. The Sith's yellow eyes gleam with anticipation. The two warriors begin their deadly dance. Qui-Gon is older, his reflexes not what they once were, but his experience is vast. He knows every Ataru form, every Shi-Cho combination. He uses his knowledge to anticipate Maul's attacks, to conserve energy while the younger Sith expends his. But Maul is relentless. His strikes come faster and faster, his double blade humming through the air in arcs of crimson death. Qui-Gon blocks, parries, deflects. His arms burn with fatigue. Sweat stings his eyes. He's being worn down. Maul senses victory and increases his assault. He spins his lightsaber in a complex pattern, then strikes high. Qui-Gon blocks. Maul drops low and sweeps for the legs. Qui-Gon leaps. Maul immediately transitions to a thrust aimed at Qui-Gon's chest, while he's airborne and vulnerable. This is it. The killing blow. Qui-Gon can't dodge in midair. His lightsaber is out of position from blocking the high strike. He sees death coming. Then Obi-Wan arrives like a thunderbolt. The younger Jedi had been racing through the laser gates, timing each sprint perfectly between activations. He comes through the final gate just as it deactivates and leaps, his lightsaber already swinging. His blade intercepts Maul's thrust inches from Qui-Gon's chest. The clash of energy sends sparks showering. Qui-Gon lands and immediately counterattacks, his blade slashing toward Maul's side. The Sith is forced to abort his attack on Obi-Wan to defend. Now he faces two Jedi again, and the dynamics have shifted. They're no longer in a narrow corridor. The generator chamber is wide enough for them to spread out, to flank him properly. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fight with the synchronization of years of training together. They know each other's movements instinctively. When Qui-Gon attacks high, Obi-Wan goes low. When Obi-Wan forces Maul right, Qui-Gon is already there to intercept. The Sith's double blade is formidable, but against two coordinated opponents in an open space, it becomes a liability. He can't defend all angles simultaneously. Obi-Wan sees the opening first. Maul commits to a powerful overhead strike against Qui-Gon. It's a feint, meant to make Obi-Wan overcommit to a counter. But Obi-Wan doesn't take the bait. He waits, patient, and when Maul spins to bring his second blade around toward Obi-Wan's expected position, the Jedi isn't there. He's moved slightly left, and his lightsaber flashes upward in a precise cut. One end of Maul's double blade goes spinning away, severed clean. The weapon is now just a single blade. Maul's eyes widen in shock. He barely blocks Qui-Gon's immediate follow-up attack. Now he's on the defensive, backpedaling, his fighting style disrupted by the loss of half his weapon. Qui-Gon presses forward with heavy gem. So strikes that jar Maul's arms with each impact. Obi-Wan circles, looking for an opening. Maul tries to use Force push to create space, but Qui-Gon absorbs it with practiced ease. The Sith warrior stumbles on the edge of a generator pit. His footing falters. Obi-Wan's blade flashes and cuts across Maul's thigh. The Sith screams in pain and drops to one knee. Before he can recover, Qui-Gon's lightsaber plunges forward, piercing Maul's chest just left of center. The Zabrak's yellow eyes go wide with disbelief. Qui-Gon withdraws his blade, and Maul topples backward, falling into the generator pit below. His body disappears into the plasma refinement chamber, consumed by energy. Qui-Gon deactivates his lightsaber and collapses to his knees, utterly exhausted. Every muscle trembles. His breath comes in ragged gasps. Obi-Wan rushes to his side, supporting him. "Master, are you hurt?" "Just tired. Very, very tired. Help me up. We need to ensure the Queen is safe." They make their way back through the palace. By the time they emerge, the battle is over. The Trade Federation has surrendered. Naboo is free. But Qui-Gon takes no joy in the victory. His mind is elsewhere, consumed by the vision on Tatooine and what it might mean. In the days following the battle, Qui-Gon recovers in a medical suite in the Naboo palace. The doctors want him to rest, to let his battered body heal. But his mind won't rest. He requests texts from the Jedi Temple archives, claiming he needs to research something about the Sith. The archivists send what he asks for, along with bundles of ancient scrolls and datacrons that haven't been accessed in centuries. Obi-Wan visits him and finds his master surrounded by holographic projections of ancient texts, his eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. "Master, you should rest. This can wait." "No, it can't." "I've found something, Obi-Wan. Something that changes everything." He brings up a specific text, written in the ancient language of the first Jedi, who settled on Ossus millennia ago. "Do you know what this is?" It's the original prophecy of the Chosen One. Not the modern translation we all know, but the source text. Obi-Wan leans closer, studying the strange symbols. He can barely read the archaic language. What does it say? Qui-Gon highlights specific phrases. The modern version, the one every Jedi learns, says that the Chosen One will bring balance to the Force by destroying the Sith. It's taken as gospel. Balance equals Sith extinction. But look at the original text. "Born of no father, touched by the Force itself. He shall bring balance, not by destroying darkness, but by uniting what was severed." The weapon divided must be reforged. Qui-Gon looks at his former Padawan with intense eyes. Uniting what was severed, Obi-Wan. Not destroying one side. Uniting both. Obi-Wan frowns, uncomfortable. "I don't understand." The dark side corrupts. The Sith use it to gain power and dominate. There's nothing to unite with that. But that's just it. We've been thinking about it wrong for so long that we can't see any other way. The dark side isn't inherently evil. It's part of the Force. It's passion, emotion, change, destruction. Yes, it can corrupt if used recklessly. But the light side can be corrupted too. It can become rigid, cold, unfeeling. We Jedi have spent so long suppressing emotion, forbidding attachment, rejecting passion, that we've become half beings. We've cut ourselves off from a fundamental part of existence. Qui-Gon brings up another text, this one showing images of ancient Force users. These are the Jedi. They existed thousands of years before the modern Jedi Order. They didn't divide the Force into light and dark. They saw it as a single energy with different aspects. They taught balance through integration, not suppression. Obi-Wan shakes his head slowly. The Council will never accept this. It goes against everything we've been taught. I know. But what if they're wrong? What if we've been interpreting the prophecy to suit our worldview rather than accepting what it actually says? Think about Anakin. That boy has more raw power than anyone in the Order, possibly anyone who's ever lived. If we train him in the traditional way, suppressing his emotions and attachments, what happens? He'll be at war with himself constantly. His power will conflict with our restrictions. He could fall to the dark side simply because we give him no other option. But if we teach him balance, true balance, to acknowledge both light and shadow within himself, he could become what the prophecy actually describes. Not a weapon to destroy the Sith, but a bridge to unite what the Force Wars divided millennia ago. The conversation haunts Obi-Wan for days. He wants to dismiss his master's theory as the rambling of an exhausted mind. But Qui-Gon's arguments are too compelling. He's seen the text himself now. The mistranslations are real. The prophecy does say something different than what they've been taught. When they return to Coruscant, Qui-Gon requests an emergency session with the full Jedi Council. They convene in the council chambers, a circular room atop one of the temple's highest towers. Sunlight streams through tall windows. The greatest Jedi Masters in the galaxy sit in their appointed seats. Mace Windu, Yoda, Plo Koon, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Shak-Ti, Saisi-Tin, Adi Gallia, and others. All eyes turn to Qui-Gon as he stands in the center of the chamber. He presents his case methodically. He shows them the original prophecy texts, demonstrates the translation errors that have accumulated over thousands of years, explains how the modern interpretation serves the Order's political interests rather than the Force's will. The Council listens in growing discomfort. When Qui-Gon finishes, silence stretches for long moments. Then Mace Windu speaks, his voice hard. "This is dangerous thinking, Qui-Gon. The dark side corrupts absolutely. There is no harmony with it, only domination or submission. We've seen countless Jedi fall because they believed they could use the dark side without being consumed. It always ends the same way. But that's because they tried to use it as a tool for power. I'm not suggesting we embrace the Sith philosophy. I'm suggesting we acknowledge that the Force itself contains both light and shadow, and that true balance means integrating both within ourselves, not choosing one and rejecting the other." Ki-Adi-Mundi leans forward, his elongated head furrowed with concern. "What you're describing would require us to completely restructure our understanding of the Force, our code, our entire philosophy. Are you prepared to tear down what has stood for 1,000 generations based on one interpretation of one ancient text?" Qui-Gon's voice remains calm but firm. "I'm prepared to consider that we might have been wrong. The Sith have been our shadow for millennia. We've fought war after war against them. What if that's because we created the conditions for them to exist? By rejecting the darker aspects of the Force, by pushing away emotion and passion, we created a void. The Sith filled that void. They're our shadow, because we refuse to acknowledge our own darkness." Yoda's ears droop as he regards Qui-Gon with ancient eyes. "A maverick, you have always been, Qui-Gon Jinn. Value your perspective, I do. But dangerous this path is. Seen many Jedi fall, I have. Start with good intentions, they do. End in darkness, they always do. The dark side is seductive. A little taste becomes a meal becomes a feast. Soon consumed they are." With respect, Master Yoda, perhaps that happens because we teach them the Force is divided. If a Jedi believes touching the dark side means instant corruption, then the moment they feel anger or passion, they think they've already fallen. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But what if we taught them differently? What if we taught them that feeling anger doesn't make them evil? It makes them alive. That the question isn't whether you feel dark emotions. but what you choose to do with them. Shakti speaks up, her voice thoughtful. There is wisdom in what you say, Master Jin. I've often thought our approach creates unnecessary rigidity. But how would this apply to young Skywalker? What specifically are you proposing? Train him in both light and shadow. Not to use the dark side for power, but to understand it. Teach him to acknowledge his fears, his anger, his attachments. Help him work with these feelings rather than suppressing them. The boy has attachments already. His mother, his friends, now the Queen's handmaiden. If we force him to cut those ties, we'll create the very resentment that could lead him to darkness. But if we teach him that love isn't forbidden, that caring for others is natural and good, he can channel that care into protection rather than possessiveness. Mace Windu stands, his presence commanding. I cannot support this. The code exists for a reason. Emotion leads to passion. Passion leads to attachment. Attachment leads to jealousy, fear, and the dark side. We've seen it countless times. If we start making exceptions for one Padawan, no matter how powerful, we compromise everything we stand for. Qui-Gon meets his gaze steadily. Then perhaps what we stand for needs to change. The council erupts in murmurs. Some masters look intrigued. Others are clearly horrified. Plo Koon raises his hand for silence. Master Jin, I understand your concerns, but you're asking us to fundamentally alter our order based on theory. What evidence do you have that this approach would work better than our proven methods? Evidence is difficult when we've never tried the alternative. But consider this. How many Jedi have fallen to the dark side in just the last century? Dozens that we know of, probably more that we don't. Our current methods clearly aren't perfect. We lose Jedi to darkness regularly, and each time we say they were weak or flawed. But what if the flaw is in our teaching? What if we're setting them up to fail by making them deny fundamental parts of themselves? Adi Gallia speaks quietly. There is precedent for what you suggest. The ancient Jedi you mentioned, they maintained balance for thousands of years. It was only after the Force Wars, when they split into pure light and pure dark factions, that the cycle of Jedi and Sith conflict began. Perhaps Master Jin is suggesting we return to that earlier wisdom. The debate continues for hours. Qui-Gon cites more ancient texts, more examples of mistranslations and ideological drift. Some masters begin to waver. The younger members of the council especially seem more open to his arguments. But the old guard, led by Mace and supported by Yoda's cautious nature, remains firm. Finally, Yoda calls for order. Enough. A vote we must take. Allow this new approach with young Skywalker, should we? Or follow traditional methods? The vote is taken. The result is close but clear. 7 votes against Qui-Gon's proposal, 5 in favor. The traditional approach wins. Qui-Gon bows his head in acceptance, but his jaw is tight. Mace Windu delivers the council's decision. Anakin Skywalker will be trained, but only in the orthodox tradition of the Jedi Order. You may be his master, Qui-Gon, but you will teach him our code, our methods, without deviation. No experimentation with acknowledging the dark side. No encouragement of attachments. No integration of light and shadow. He will be tested like any other Padawan, and if he shows signs of darkness, his training will be terminated. Do you understand? I understand perfectly. Qui-Gon's voice is flat, emotionless. After the council session, Obi-Wan finds his master standing in one of the temple's meditation gardens. The night air is cool. Distant speeder traffic hums through the Coruscant sky. What will you do? Obi-Wan asks. Qui-Gon is silent for a long moment. Then he turns to his former apprentice with a slight smile. I will train him as they've instructed, officially. But he meets Obi-Wan's eyes meaningfully. Some lessons don't need to be recorded in the archives. Anakin Skywalker's training begins under Qui-Gon Jinn's guidance. To the outside observer, everything appears standard. Anakin learns the standard lightsaber forms, Shicho, then Ataru. He studies Jedi philosophy, galactic history, diplomacy, and meditation techniques. He accompanies Qui-Gon on missions appropriate for a Padawan learner. But on their long travels through hyperspace, in the privacy of remote planets, Qui-Gon teaches him other lessons. Lessons that don't appear in any official curriculum. They're in a training room aboard a Republic transport, practicing lightsaber combinations. Qui-Gon watches Anakin move through the forms. The boy is naturally gifted, his reflexes extraordinary. But there's a tension in his movements, a hesitation. Stop. Anakin deactivates his training saber. What am I doing wrong? Nothing wrong. But you're holding back. I can see it. You're afraid to put force behind your strikes, afraid to let your emotions fuel your movements. Anakin looks down, embarrassed. Master Windu said that relying on emotion in combat leads to the dark side. I should fight from a place of serenity, not passion. Qui-Gon nods slowly. That is what he said, and there is wisdom in it. But consider this. When you freed yourself and your mother from slavery, when you won that pod race, were you serene? Anakin thinks back. No. I was excited, determined. I wanted to win so badly it hurt. And did that make you evil? Did wanting to free your mother corrupt you? No, sir. Exactly. Passion isn't evil, Anakin. It's part of being alive. The question isn't whether you feel it. The question is what you do with it. A Sith uses passion for domination and cruelty. But you can use that same passion to protect people, to fight for justice. The emotion itself is neutral. It's your choice that matters. Anakin absorbs this, his young face thoughtful. So I shouldn't try to fight without emotion. You should fight with full awareness of your emotions. Feel the excitement, the determination, even the fear. Acknowledge these feelings exist. Then choose what to do with them. Don't let them control you, but don't pretend they aren't there. That's the path to true mastery. Not suppression, but conscious choice. They resume training, and this time, Anakin's movements are different. More fluid, more alive. His strikes have power behind them, because he's not afraid to put his heart into them. Qui-Gon smiles. Much better. Remember this feeling. You're not denying yourself. You're being fully present. Years pass. Anakin grows from a child into a teenager, from a teenager into a young man. His training continues in this dual manner. Orthodox on the surface, revolutionary beneath. He becomes stronger, more skilled, more confident. But he also becomes more aware of the contradictions in the Jedi Order. During one mission to Coruscant's lower levels, they encounter homeless people living in desperate poverty. Anakin wants to help. He suggests the Jedi Temple, with its vast resources, could do more for the people of Coruscant. Qui-Gon agrees, but explains the political complications. The Jedi serve the Republic. The Senate decides where their resources go. To act independently would mean defying the government. Anakin struggles to understand. Then what's the point of our power if we can't use it to help people? Qui-Gon doesn't have a good answer. This is part of what I've been trying to show you. The Order has become entangled with politics. We've lost some of our independence, our ability to simply do what's right, regardless of Senate approval. As Anakin matures, another person enters his life. Padme Amidala, now Senator of Naboo, occasionally works with the Jedi on legislation. She and Anakin reconnect after years apart. The attraction between them is immediate and powerful. Anakin tries to hide his feelings, knowing the Jedi code forbids attachment. But Qui-Gon sees it. One evening, they talk about it. "Master, I think I'm feeling things I shouldn't. For Senator Amidala. I know I should meditate on this, let the feelings pass, but they won't. They just get stronger." Qui-Gon regards his Padawan with understanding eyes. "Do you think love is evil, Anakin?" "No, of course not." "Then why should feeling it be forbidden?" "The code says, attachment leads to jealousy, to fear, to the dark side." But what if that's only true when we shame people for loving? What if we taught that love is natural, that caring for specific people doesn't mean you can't also care for all people? Anakin looks confused. "Are you saying the code is wrong?" "I'm saying the code is interpreted too rigidly. There's a difference between attachment and possessiveness, between love and jealous obsession. If we taught Jedi that loving someone is acceptable, that having families is natural, but that true love means wanting the best for someone, even if it's not you, we'd have fewer problems, not more. Right now, we force Jedi to choose between love and duty. That false choice creates the very conflicts we're trying to avoid." Anakin processes this. "So I shouldn't feel guilty about caring for Padme?" "No. But you should examine what that caring means. Do you love her as a person with her own goals and agency? Or do you want to possess her, to make her yours? The first is healthy. The second leads to darkness. Can you be happy for her if she achieves her dreams, even if those dreams don't include you?" The teachings sink deep into Anakin's heart. He begins to understand that the Jedi Order's black and white thinking might not be the only way. He can feel emotions without being consumed by them. He can care for people without possessing them. He can acknowledge his anger, his fear, his passion, and choose what to do with those feelings. He's not at war with himself anymore. Under Qui-Gon's secret tutelage, he's learning to be whole. Meanwhile, Chancellor Palpatine watches the boy's development with great interest. He's been planning for years, orchestrating events, building his power base. Anakin Skywalker is crucial to his plans. The boy's power is extraordinary. If Palpatine can turn him, corrupt him, he'll have a weapon to destroy the Jedi utterly. Palpatine begins his manipulation early. He arranges for Anakin to accompany Padme to Senate sessions, where the Chancellor can speak with him. He positions himself as a mentor, someone who believes in Anakin when the Council has doubts. He's charming, grandfatherly, filled with praise for the young Jedi's accomplishments. He speaks of the Jedi's limitations, how they're held back by bureaucracy and outdated thinking. He never pushes too hard, just plants seeds. But something isn't working as planned. Normally, when Palpatine speaks of power through passion, of using emotion for strength, young Jedi become conflicted. They've been taught to suppress these feelings, so hearing someone validate them creates cognitive dissonance that Palpatine can exploit. But Anakin doesn't respond that way. They're at the galaxy's opera house, watching a performance. Palpatine uses the opportunity to speak of power. The Jedi fear emotion, young Skywalker. They teach you to suppress your natural instincts. But true strength comes from passion, from using your feelings rather than denying them. Think what you could accomplish if you weren't constantly second-guessing your emotions. Anakin listens politely, but his response surprises the Chancellor. "With respect, sir, my master has taught me that passion is natural, but there's a difference between using it and being controlled by it. I don't need to suppress my emotions, but I also don't need to let them make my decisions." Palpatine's smile doesn't falter. but his mind races. This isn't the response he expected. Qui-Gon Jinn has interfered with his plans. Palpatine tries different approaches over the following months. He speaks of the power of the dark side, how the Jedi limit themselves by rejecting half of the Force. Anakin's response is thoughtful. "I've learned that the Force isn't divided into good and evil sides, Chancellor. It's one energy with different aspects. The Jedi focus on peace and selflessness. That's valuable. But understanding anger and passion is also valuable. It's about balance, not choosing one extreme." Palpatine realizes his usual tactics won't work. This boy has somehow found a philosophical middle ground that makes him resistant to Sith manipulation. Qui-Gon has taught him to accept his emotions without being ruled by them. He's not conflicted in the way Palpatine needs him to be. The Chancellor begins to understand that Qui-Gon Jinn must be eliminated if the plan is to proceed. The Clone Wars begin exactly as Palpatine orchestrated. The Separatist crisis escalates. The Republic militarizes. The Jedi become generals, leading clone armies into battle across the galaxy. Anakin, now a full Jedi Knight, is given command of the 501st Legion. His leadership style is immediately different from other Jedi. While Jedi like Mace Windu maintain emotional distance from their troops, treating them as effective soldiers but nothing more, Anakin bonds with his clones. He learns their names, their personalities, their fears and dreams. He jokes with them, fights alongside them, mourns when they die. The clones of the 501st become fiercely loyal, not just to the Republic, but to Anakin personally. His battle tactics are unorthodox. On Christophsis, when Separatist forces have the Republic troops pinned down, most Jedi would mount a careful defense and wait for reinforcements. Anakin studies the situation and decides on an aggressive assault. He leads a small strike team through enemy lines to destroy their shield generator, leaving the main force vulnerable. It's risky, requires split-second timing and absolute commitment. But Anakin channels his determination, his passion for protecting his troops, into focus. The mission succeeds. The enemy is routed. Fewer Republic soldiers die than if they'd fought a prolonged defensive battle. But the Jedi Council reviews the battle and criticizes his methods. Too aggressive, they say. Too much reliance on emotion and instinct rather than careful planning. On Ryloth, Anakin faces another challenge. Separatist forces have enslaved the Twi'lek population. The Republic's strategy is to drive out the Separatists first, then deal with the slavery issue later. But Anakin sees the suffering of the slaves and can't wait. He splits his forces, using part to engage the Separatist military, while leading another group to free the slaves immediately. The freed Twi'leks join the fight, turning the tide. Victory comes faster and with fewer casualties. But again, the Council questions his decision. He split his forces, risked troops on a humanitarian mission during active combat. By the book, it was wrong. But it worked, and it saved lives. Anakin begins to see the pattern. The Jedi are so locked into their procedures and cautious philosophies that they've lost flexibility. They can't adapt. They can't see when breaking rules achieves better outcomes. The war drags on. Months become years. Anakin's reputation grows. He's known across the Republic as the hero with no fear, the Jedi who wins impossible battles and saves countless lives. But within the Order, opinions are divided. Younger Jedi admire him, see him as proof that the old ways need updating. Older, more traditional Jedi view him with suspicion. They see his emotional connections, his aggressive tactics, his bending of rules. They worry he's close to falling. The Council watches him carefully, looking for signs of corruption. On Argonar, everything changes. The desert planet has become a separatist stronghold. Republic intelligence suggests Count Dooku himself is overseeing operations there. The Council dispatches a strike force led by Qui-Gon Jinn to capture or eliminate him. Anakin wants to go, but he's needed elsewhere. His master and several other Jedi Knights take the mission. The operation goes badly from the start. The intelligence was faulty, or perhaps deliberately misleading. The Separatist forces are larger than expected and better positioned. Qui-Gon's team fights their way to the command ship, but they're separated in the chaos of battle. Qui-Gon ends up alone, pursuing Dooku through the ship's corridors. They meet in the reactor chamber, a vast space filled with humming power converters and coolant systems. The two former friends face each other. Dooku's elegant robes contrast with Qui-Gon's battle-worn appearance. "You look tired, old friend. The war doesn't suit you. It doesn't suit anyone. That's why it must end. Surrender, Dooku. Stand trial. There can still be justice." Justice? What justice can there be in a corrupt republic? The Senate is a cesspool of greed and incompetence. The Jedi have become their lapdogs. I offered you a chance to change things, to build something better. You chose the easy path of blind obedience. Qui-Gon ignites his lightsaber. I chose to work within the system, flawed as it is. You chose to burn it all down. That makes you no different from the Sith you claim to oppose. Dooku's face hardens. You don't understand. I am the only one willing to do what's necessary. He activates his curved lightsaber, its red blade humming to life. The revelation hits Qui-Gon like a physical blow. The blade is red, the color of the Sith. You've fallen. Dooku's smile is cold. I've awakened. And now, old friend, you've become an obstacle. They fight. Dooku's Makashi form is perfection, each movement economical and precise. He's one of the greatest duelists the Order ever produced, and his skill has only grown sharper with his fall to the dark side. Qui-Gon matches him with experience and determination, but he's older, tired from the earlier battle. They duel through the reactor chamber, lightsabers crackling against the background roar of machinery. Dooku presses hard, his attacks coming faster. Qui-Gon defends desperately. He tries to counterattack, but Dooku's defense is impeccable. Minutes stretch into eternity. Qui-Gon's arms burn with fatigue. His breathing becomes labored. Dooku senses victory approaching. He feints high. Qui-Gon blocks. Dooku drops low and sweeps his blade in a horizontal arc. Qui-Gon tries to jump, but his legs don't respond fast enough. The red blade slashes across his side, cutting deep. Qui-Gon gasps in pain and stumbles. Dooku's follow-up strike catches him across the chest. The Jedi Master falls to his knees, his lightsaber clattering away. Blood soaks through his robes. Dooku stands over him, expression almost regretful. You were always too idealistic, Qui-Gon. In another life, we could have changed the galaxy together. Now you die for nothing. He raises his lightsaber for the killing blow. Qui-Gon reaches out through the Force, not to fight, but to send a message. Across the galaxy, Anakin suddenly gasps as his master's presence touches his mind. Images flash. Dooku, the red lightsaber, Qui-Gon falling. Then words, strained but clear. The prophecy was never about destroying. It was about creating something new. Don't let them corrupt you into being their weapon. Be what the Force needs, not what anyone else demands. You're the balance, Anakin. The bridge between what was and what must be. Trust yourself. The presence fades, like a candle blown out by wind. Anakin knows instantly that his master is dead. He's in the middle of a meeting when it happens. He's standing with Captain Rex and Ahsoka, his new Padawan, reviewing tactical displays. The Force presence winks out, and Anakin's knees buckle. He catches himself on the holotable, his face going pale. "General?" Rex's voice is concerned. "Skywalker. What's wrong? Ahsoka feels it too through their training bond. She puts a hand on his shoulder. Master, Qui-Gon is dead. The words come out flat, hollow. Anakin's mind is spinning. Grief crashes over him like a tidal wave. Then rage follows, volcanic and consuming. Dooku, the name is a growl. Dooku killed him. The dark side whispers to him in that moment, offering power, offering revenge. It would be so easy. Just embrace the anger. Let it fuel you. Hunt Dooku across the galaxy and make him pay. Tear him apart. Make him suffer as Qui-Gon suffered. The temptation is overwhelming. Anakin feels himself tipping toward that abyss, feels the dark side reaching for him with seductive promises. But then, Qui-Gon's final words echo in his memory. Don't let them corrupt you into being their weapon. Trust yourself. Anakin takes a shuddering breath. The anger is still there, burning in his chest like plasma fire. But he doesn't push it away. He feels it fully, acknowledges its presence. He understands where it comes from: grief, loss, love for his master. The anger itself isn't evil. What matters is what he does with it. He straightens slowly. His hands are shaking, but his voice is steady. We need to contact the Council, and then we need to finish this war. Dooku will answer for what he's done, but it won't be through revenge. It'll be through justice. Over the following weeks, Anakin throws himself into the war effort. The grief is always there, a weight in his chest. Sometimes at night, he meditates on memories of Qui-Gon, of lessons learned, of moments shared. He lets himself cry. He doesn't suppress the pain or pretend it isn't there. He feels it, processes it, and continues forward. His troops notice the change in him. He's quieter, more intense. But he's not broken. If anything, he fights more effectively than before. His connection to his men deepens. He understands their losses because he's experienced his own. The hunt for Dooku becomes Anakin's focus. He studies every report, every sighting. He knows the Count won't hide forever. Separatist leadership is fracturing. They're losing coordination, making mistakes. Finally, intelligence reports place Dooku on Tyth, a rocky world in the Outer Rim. He's meeting with remaining Separatist Council members, trying to coordinate a major offensive. The Council authorizes a strike mission. Anakin volunteers immediately. Obi-Wan insists on coming with him. I know what you're feeling, Anakin. Qui-Gon was my master before he was yours. But you can't face Dooku alone, not in your current state. I won't let you fall to darkness because of this. They take a small strike force to Tyth. The approach is careful, stealthy. They infiltrate an abandoned mining facility where the Separatist meeting is taking place. Through ventilation shafts and maintenance tunnels, they work their way toward the central chamber. They can hear Dooku's voice echoing through metal corridors, discussing strategy with his allies. Anakin's hand rests on his lightsaber hilt. The anger is there, but so is his training. Feel it, acknowledge it, but don't let it control you. They drop into the chamber through a ceiling access hatch. Dooku looks up in surprise, his hand moving to his lightsaber. The other Separatists scatter. Some run for exits, others draw weapons. But Anakin's focus is entirely on Dooku, for Qui-Gon Jinn. He ignites his lightsaber and attacks. The duel is fierce from the first exchange. Anakin comes at Dooku with aggressive strikes, channeling his grief and rage into focused assault. But he's not wild, not out of control. Each strike is precise, calculated. Dooku defends with his perfect Makashi technique, but Anakin has grown immensely since they last met. He's stronger, faster, more experienced. Obi-Wan engages from the side, forcing Dooku to split his attention. The mining facility becomes a battleground, They fight across catwalks and through excavation chambers. Dooku tries to separate them, using Force push to drive Obi-Wan back. But Anakin stays on him relentlessly. You should be consumed by rage right now. Dooku's voice is strained as he blocks a powerful overhead strike. I killed your master. Why aren't you falling to darkness? Because he taught me better than that. Anakin's blade flashes in a complex pattern. He channels his emotions but doesn't surrender to them. Dooku tries to provoke him. Qui-Gon died slowly. He suffered. He called out for you, you know. Begged for his Padawan to save him. But you weren't there. Anakin's face remains focused. The words hurt, but he doesn't let the pain control him. I know what you're trying to do. It won't work. Obi-Wan rejoins the fight. Together they press Dooku back. The Count's legendary skill is being overwhelmed by their coordination. He unleashes Force lightning, but both Jedi deflect it with their blades. He tries to collapse a mining support to crush them, but they leap aside. His attacks become wilder, more desperate. He's losing, and he knows it. Anakin sees his opening when Dooku overcommits to a lunge at Obi-Wan. He's exposed for just a moment. Anakin's blade flashes and severs both of Dooku's hands at the wrist. The Count's lightsaber falls. He drops to his knees, clutching his cauterized stumps, face twisted in pain and shock. Anakin stands over him, breathing hard. Obi-Wan approaches carefully. Kill me. Dooku's voice is bitter. Finish it, young Skywalker. Give in to your anger. No. Anakin deactivates his lightsaber. You'll stand trial. Justice doesn't require your death, just your accountability. Obi-Wan looks at his former Padawan with something like pride. Qui-Gon trained you well. Dooku stares at them in disbelief. You're fools. You think the Republic's justice means anything? The Senate is corrupt. The Jedi are blind. My master has already won. Your master? Anakin kneels beside Dooku. Who is your master? Tell me. For a moment it seems Dooku might answer, but then his face contorts and he convulses. Foam appears at his mouth. He's poisoned himself, Obi-Wan realizes. A fail-safe implant. They watch helplessly as Dooku dies, taking his secrets with him. But he, said his master, has already won. Anakin stands. That means there's still a Sith Lord out there, pulling the strings. Back on Coruscant, Anakin can't shake the feeling that something is deeply wrong. Dooku spoke of his master, of plans already in motion. The war continues, but it feels hollow, orchestrated. Both sides seem to be following scripts, written by an unseen hand. Anakin starts paying closer attention to the Senate, to how decisions are made, to who benefits from each development. He notices patterns. Chancellor Palpatine has accumulated vast emergency powers. The Senate has become a rubber stamp. Civil liberties are being eroded in the name of security. It's all moving in one direction, toward centralized authoritarian control. And the Jedi are helping it happen. Anakin begins meditating on the problem, using techniques Qui-Gon taught him. He extends his awareness across Coruscant, not searching for anything specific, but simply observing. He does this regularly over weeks, building a picture of the force currents flowing through the capital. One evening during a Senate session he's attending with Padme, he reaches out again. His awareness touches hundreds of presences, senators, aides, security personnel. Most are mundane, their force signatures dim. But one presence burns. It's like touching a reactor core, power barely contained. And it's dark. Not the chaotic darkness of rage or the seductive darkness of power hunger. This is methodical, controlled, ancient, Sith darkness. Anakin's eyes snap open. He traces the signature to its source, Chancellor Palpatine. His mind reels with the implications. It can't be possible. But the more he thinks about it, the more the pieces fall into place. Palpatine has been there since the beginning, since Naboo. He befriended Anakin when he was just a child, positioned himself as a mentor figure. He's been guiding Republic policy throughout the entire war. Every emergency power, every expanded executive authority, every erosion of Senate oversight, it all happened legally, gradually, with Palpatine presenting himself as a reluctant servant, accepting necessary burdens. The genius of it is staggering. The Sith Lord they've been hunting across the galaxy has been sitting in the Chancellor's office the entire time, hiding in plain sight. Anakin forces himself to remain calm. He can't just storm into the Senate chambers and accuse Palpatine. Without evidence, he'll be dismissed as paranoid or unstable. The Council already has doubts about him. An unsubstantiated accusation against the Supreme Chancellor will destroy what credibility he has left. No, he needs proof. Hard evidence that even the most skeptical Council member can't ignore. He needs to investigate carefully, methodically. He thinks of Qui-Gon, of lessons about patience and strategy. Rushing in without preparation is how people die. Over the following days, Anakin begins his investigation. He starts with public records, using his security clearance as a Jedi General to access Senate archives. He examines Palpatine's political career, looking for anomalies. The man's rise was meteoric. He went from obscure Naboo senator to Supreme Chancellor in just a few years. His political alliances shifted at convenient times. Former rivals disappeared or were discredited. Palpatine always seemed to benefit from crises he had no obvious hand in creating. On paper, it looks like extraordinary political skill combined with good fortune. But Anakin sees the pattern now. It's too perfect, too calculated. He digs deeper into Palpatine's finances. This requires more creativity. He can't officially request the Chancellor's personal financial records without cause. But he knows people who know people. He reaches out to Padme, who as a senator has access to certain financial oversight committees. Can you get me information on shell corporations registered in the Outer Rim? Particularly ones with ties to Naboo. She's confused by the request but agrees. Why do you need this? I'm investigating something. I can't explain yet, but I promise it's important. Trust me, she does. The information Padme provides is revealing. Dozens of corporations, all with opaque ownership structures, all registered in jurisdictions with minimal oversight. Individually, they look like standard tax avoidance schemes. But when Anakin maps them, he sees they're all connected. Money flows between them in complex patterns, obscuring the ultimate source and destination of funds. And many of these corporations have contracts with both Republic and Separatist entities. Palpatine is funding both sides of the war. Anakin brings this information to Obi-Wan first. They meet in a secure room deep in the Jedi Temple, a chamber designed for sensitive conversations that can't be overheard. Anakin lays out everything: the dark side presence he sensed, the suspicious political patterns, the financial connections. Obi-Wan listens with growing alarm. His face goes pale as the implications sink in. If you're right, and I'm not saying you're not, this means the entire war is a fabrication. Every battle, every death, all orchestrated by one man. The scale of it is almost incomprehensible. That's exactly what it means. The Sith didn't disappear after we defeated Maul and Dooku. They evolved. They learned that trying to conquer the galaxy by force doesn't work. So instead, they infiltrated it. They became it. Obi-Wan paces the room, his mind racing through scenarios. We need to bring this to the Council immediately. But we need more than financial records and force impressions. If we're going to accuse the Supreme Chancellor of being a Sith Lord, We need absolute proof. Agreed. Which means we need to get into his private offices. His real private offices, not the public ones. We need to find evidence of direct communication with separatist leadership, Sith artifacts, something undeniable. Obi-Wan stops pacing. That's an incredibly dangerous mission. If Palpatine is truly as powerful as Dooku was, and if he realizes we're onto him, he could kill us both before we can warn anyone. I know. But what choice do we have? If we wait, he completes whatever endgame he's planning. The Republic falls, the Jedi are destroyed, and he wins. They plan carefully over the next week. Anakin uses his friendship with Palpatine to gather intelligence. He accepts invitations to dinners and opera performances, all while subtly observing. He notes Palpatine's schedule, his security arrangements, when he's in his Senate office versus his private residence. He maps patrol patterns of Senate guards. He identifies which guards are loyal to Palpatine personally versus those serving the Republic. The distinction is important. Some guards will follow orders without question. Others might hesitate if confronted with evidence of treason. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan coordinates with Jedi Shadows, the Order's intelligence specialists. These Jedi operate in secrecy, gathering information and eliminating threats that never make it into official reports. They're skilled in infiltration, disguise, and investigation. Master Voss, a Shadow known for his unorthodox methods, agrees to help. He's one of the few Jedi who can touch the dark side without being consumed, using it as a tool for infiltration. If anyone can slip past Palpatine's defenses, it's him. The operation begins on a night when Palpatine is scheduled to attend a diplomatic function. The event will keep him occupied for hours, surrounded by witnesses. It's the perfect window. Voss, disguised as a maintenance worker, enters the Senate building through service entrances. His forged credentials pass multiple security checks. He makes his way to the Chancellor's private office level, a restricted area normally off-limits even to senators. The corridors are patrolled, but Voss knows the timing. He moves between patrols, staying in blind spots of security cameras. At the office entrance, he encounters a more serious obstacle: biometric locks requiring Palpatine's personal authorization. But Voss came prepared. He places a small device on the lock, a slicer tool developed by Republic intelligence. It cycles through millions of combinations per second, searching for the backdoor code that all security systems have for emergency access. The process takes agonizing minutes. Voss stands there, outwardly calm, inwardly prepared to fight or flee if discovered. Finally, the lock disengages with a soft click. He's in. The office is exactly what you'd expect. Tasteful art, expensive furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Coruscant's skyline. Voss begins searching systematically. The desk yields nothing interesting, just standard government documents and correspondence. The datapads are more promising. He copies their contents onto a portable drive. But he's searching for something specific, something Palpatine wouldn't leave on easily accessible devices. He extends his senses through the Force, feeling for hidden compartments or concealed doors. There, behind a painting of Naboo's landscape, he senses a void in the Force, a space deliberately hidden from casual detection. He removes the painting and finds a wall panel. It looks seamless, but his trained fingers find the release mechanism. The panel slides aside, revealing a hidden chamber. What he sees inside makes his breath catch. The small room is lined with Sith artifacts, ancient lightsabers, their hilts corroded with age, holocrons glowing with dark side energy, texts written in the language of the ancient Sith Empire, and most damning, a communications array clearly designed for long-range encrypted transmissions. Voss activates a recording device and captures everything. This is the evidence they need. But as he's documenting the hidden chamber, he feels a disturbance in the Force. A presence approaching, far sooner than expected. Palpatine has left the diplomatic function early. Voss curses silently. He doesn't have time to replace everything as he found it. He grabs several of the smaller artifacts, items that can serve as physical evidence, and shoves them into his pack. He reseals the chamber and replaces the painting, but he knows Palpatine will sense the intrusion. The Force is too strong here, too saturated with dark side energy. Any disturbance is like ripples in still water. Voss exits the office and moves quickly toward his extraction point. Behind him, he hears the elevator arriving on this level. Palpatine's voice echoes in the corridor, speaking to someone. Voss doesn't wait. He breaks into a run, abandoning stealth for speed. Alarms begin blaring, security protocols activate, blast doors start closing, attempting to seal the level. Voss leaps through a closing door with inches to spare. He can feel Palpatine's presence now, a tsunami of dark side energy washing through the building. The Sith Lord knows someone breached his sanctum. Voss makes it to a service elevator and descends rapidly. The building is going into lockdown, but the confusion works in his favor. Guards are scrambling to assess the threat, uncertain whether it's an intruder or a system malfunction. Voss emerges in a lower-level maintenance area and disappears into the labyrinthine tunnels beneath the Senate district. Hours later, he emerges miles away, his disguise discarded, and makes his way back to the Jedi Temple. The evidence is secured. The emergency council session is convened immediately. Voss presents his findings, the holocron recordings showing the hidden Sith chamber, the physical artifacts he recovered, the copied communications data. The council examines everything in stunned silence. The evidence is irrefutable. Chancellor Palpatine is not just a Sith sympathizer or agent. He is a Dark Lord of the Sith, possibly the Master Dooku served. The implications are staggering. The war, the emergency powers, the gradual erosion of democracy. All of it has been orchestrated by the very person they trusted to lead them through the crisis. Mace Windu's face is harder than Durasteel. We must arrest him immediately, before he can activate whatever contingencies he's prepared. But Ki-Adi-Mundi raises a concern. If Palpatine is truly this powerful, this embedded in our government, he will have fail-safes. Arresting him could trigger something catastrophic. We need to consider all possibilities. What could he trigger? Anakin asks, though he already suspects the answer. The clone army. Plo Koon voices what they're all thinking. The clones were created on Kamino, under circumstances we never fully investigated. A mysterious Jedi master we can't identify placed the order. If Palpatine was behind their creation, he could have built in control mechanisms. Anakin feels ice spreading through his chest. The inhibitor chips. Every clone has one, implanted during their creation. The Kaminoans said they were for behavioral modification, to prevent aggression or independent thought that might interfere with following orders. But what if they're more than that? What if they're kill switches? The room goes silent as everyone processes this. If Palpatine can activate the chips and turn the entire Grand Army against the Jedi simultaneously, it would be a massacre. The Jedi are spread thin across the galaxy, often commanding clone units with only a handful of Jedi present. If those clones turned on them without warning, most wouldn't survive. We need to verify this before we move against Palpatine. Shaak Ti's voice is strained. If we arrest him and he activates the chips, we condemn every Jedi in the field to death. But if we delay, he might realize we're onto him and activate them anyway. Anakin has an idea. Let me investigate the chips. I have close relationships with my clones, especially Captain Rex and the 501st. They trust me. If I can examine one of their chips, determine what it's really for, we'll know what we're dealing with. And if it's a threat, maybe we can disable it before we move against Palpatine. The Council agrees, but time is critical. Palpatine knows his sanctum was breached. He'll be on high alert, potentially accelerating his timeline. Anakin has days at most, maybe hours. He leaves immediately, finding Rex in the barracks. The clone captain is reviewing after-action reports when Anakin enters. "Sir, is something wrong? You tell me. Have you ever felt something off? Like there are thoughts in your head that aren't yours, or your body moves before you decide to move it?" Rex's expression becomes guarded. Sometimes, after certain orders come through, especially from high command, it's like I'm watching myself follow them rather than choosing to. I always figured it was just conditioning, the training overriding thought. But it feels wrong, artificial. Anakin explains what they've discovered. Rex's face goes through a progression of emotions: shock, anger, betrayal, and finally grim determination. "You're telling me we might be sleeper agents? That at any moment, someone could flip a switch and turn us into killers?" "Potentially, yes, but we're going to stop it. I need your permission to examine you with the Force. It won't hurt, but I need to see what's actually in your brain." Rex doesn't hesitate. "Do it. Whatever you need. If there's something in me that could hurt my brothers or the Jedi, I want it out." Anakin has Rex sit and relax. He places his hands on either side of the clone's head and extends his awareness inward. He's not a healer, not trained in medical force techniques, but Qui-Gon taught him to sense life energy and its flows. He feels the organic structure of Rex's mind, the neural pathways that make him who he is. And there, nestled against the brainstem near the area controlling motor functions, is something that doesn't belong. A chip, small and metallic, its design organic enough to avoid rejection, but clearly artificial. Anakin probes it carefully with the Force, sensing its structure. It's connected to neural pathways, capable of receiving external signals. And when activated, it would override Rex's conscious control, forcing specific behaviors. It's exactly what they feared. A control device. I found it. Anakin withdraws his awareness and opens his eyes. "There's a chip in your brain, right here." He touches a spot just behind Rex's ear. It's designed to receive external commands and force you to obey them, overriding your free will. The anger on Rex's face is terrible to see. They made us slaves. Worse than slaves. At least slaves know they're slaves. We thought we were free men, soldiers with choice. But we've been property the entire time. Anakin grips his shoulder. "Not anymore. We're going to remove it. And then we're going to remove it from every clone we can reach. You're not property, Rex. You're my brother. You're all my brothers. And no one owns my family." The removal process is delicate. Anakin isn't a surgeon, but he has steady hands and the Force to guide him. He uses a small medical laser, the kind designed for precise work, and cuts carefully. Rex is awake for the procedure, refusing anesthetic. He wants to feel it, wants to know the moment he's free. The chip is smaller than a fingernail, embedded in tissue. Anakin uses the Force to gently separate it from surrounding neurons, ensuring no damage. When he finally extracts it, holding the bloody device in tweezers, Rex lets out a long breath. "How do you feel?" "Free. For the first time since I woke up in my growth tank, I feel like my mind is completely my own." Word spreads quickly through the 501st. The clones trust Anakin absolutely. When he explains what he's found, they're horrified, but eager to be freed. Anakin works through the night, removing chip after chip. His hands cramp, his eyes burn with exhaustion, but he doesn't stop. Each chip removed is another brother saved. Fives, Jesse, Kix, Hardcase, Dogma, Tup. One by one, the men of the 501st become truly free. By morning, the entire legion has been treated, but there are millions of clones across the galaxy. The 501st is just a tiny fraction. Anakin brings the removed chips to the Council. Jedi healers examine them, confirming their function. These are kill switches. When activated, they would force the clones to execute Order 66, eliminate all Jedi for treason against the Republic. It's a genocide protocol. Hidden inside the heads of every soldier the Jedi have been fighting alongside. The horror of it is almost too much to process. The Council must act now, but they're faced with an impossible choice. They can't remove chips from millions of clones before moving against Palpatine. But if they arrest him without securing the clone army first, he'll activate the protocol and most of the Order will die. Anakin proposes a compromise. We focus on the Jedi who are most isolated, most vulnerable, those leading small units in the Outer Rim or on solo missions. We quietly recall them to Coruscant or have them remove chips from their immediate clone commanders. It won't save everyone, but it might save enough. Meanwhile, we prepare to arrest Palpatine. We go in with overwhelming force, fast enough that he can't trigger the Order before we neutralize him. The Council debates furiously. Time is slipping away. Every hour they delay is another hour Palpatine might discover their plan. Finally, Yoda makes the decision. Proceed, we shall. Recall vulnerable Jedi, we will. Remove what chips we can, but wait no longer. Tonight, arrest Palpatine we must. May the Force be with us all. The next hours are a flurry of activity. Emergency recall orders go out across hyperspace comm channels. Jedi scattered across the galaxy receive coded messages. Return to Coruscant immediately, or if that's impossible, remove inhibitor chips from clone commanders. Some Jedi are confused by the order. Others, sensing the urgency, comply without question. Master Luminara, Unduli on Kashyyyk, removes chips from her entire battalion. Master Plo Koon, commanding a fleet near Cato Nemoidia, has his medical officers perform the procedure on key personnel. Master Isla Secura on Felucia works with her clone commander Bly to quietly treat his unit. But not every Jedi can be reached. Some are too far out, beyond comm range. Others are in the middle of active operations and can't respond immediately. The Council knows they're running out of time. They have to move now, even knowing some Jedi will be left vulnerable. Mace Windu assembles the arrest team. Anakin argues to be included. Mace initially refuses, citing Anakin's emotional connection to Palpatine as a potential liability. But Anakin makes his case. I know Palpatine better than anyone. I've been around him for years. I know how he thinks, how he manipulates. You'll need that insight. And besides, after what he did to Qui-Gon, to Dooku, to all of us, I have a right to be there. Mace studies him for a long moment, then nods. Very well. But you follow, my lead. No heroics, no independent action. We do this together or not at all. The arrest team assembles in the temple hangar. 20 Jedi, a mix of council members and skilled knights. Mace Windu, Yoda, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, Saesee Tiin, Shakti, Plo Koon. Each one a master warrior. Together they represent the combined might of the Order. They're accompanied by a full security contingent of clone troopers, all from units whose chips have been removed. These clones know they're about to arrest the Supreme Chancellor. They've been briefed on the evidence. To a man, they're ready. As the transport lifts off toward the Senate district, the Jedi prepare themselves mentally. They reach out through the Force, centering themselves, preparing for what may be the most important battle of their lives. The Senate building looms ahead, its vast dome lit against the Coruscant night. The transport lands in a restricted hangar. Senate security moves to intercept them, but Mace shows identification and the evidence holochip. By legal authority of the Jedi Council and the Republic Constitution, we are placing Chancellor Palpatine under arrest for high treason. Most of the Senate guards look at each other uncertainly. Some stand aside. A few, clearly loyal to Palpatine personally, resist. Brief fighting breaks out. Lightsabers ignite. Blaster fire exchanges. The loyal guards are quickly overwhelmed, disarmed rather than killed. The Jedi push forward through the building. Alarms begin blaring. Lockdown protocols activate. But the Jedi cut through blast doors with their lightsabers. Nothing stops their advance. They storm through corridors toward the Chancellor's suite. Some senators and aides flee at the sight of 20 armed Jedi. Others watch in shock, not understanding what's happening. The group reaches Palpatine's office level. The doors are sealed, reinforced. Mace and Kit Fisto cut through them simultaneously, their lightsabers carving through durasteel. The doors fall inward with a crash. The Jedi enter. Palpatine sits behind his desk, utterly calm. He's not surprised. If anything, he looks almost pleased. "Ah, Master Windu. I've been expecting you. Sheev Palpatine, you are under arrest for high treason against the Galactic Republic." Mace's voice is hard as durasteel. "The evidence of your crimes is overwhelming. You will surrender peacefully, or we will take you by force." Palpatine stands slowly, his movements casual, unthreatened. "On what charges, specifically?" "Treason. You are Darth Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith. You orchestrated the Clone Wars, playing both sides to accumulate power. You've corrupted the Republic from within. You will answer for your crimes before the Senate and the people." Palpatine's kindly expression melts away like wax before flame. His face twists into something ancient and cruel. His eyes shift from blue to sulphurous yellow. The transformation is shocking to witness. "I'm afraid that won't be possible. You, Jedi, have become inconvenient. It's time to end this charade." His hand moves to a control panel on his desk. He presses a button. "Execute Order 66. The command broadcasts across the galaxy to every clone trooper's chip. On thousands of worlds, the activation signal hits. But the results are mixed, chaotic. On Coruscant, in Palpatine's office, nothing happens. The clones present are ones Anakin treated personally. Their chips are gone. They keep their weapons trained on Palpatine, unwavering. But elsewhere across the galaxy, the massacre begins. On Migeto, Master Ki-Adi-Mundi is leading a charge when his clone commander suddenly opens fire on him. He barely deflects the first shots, confusion and betrayal on his face. On Cato Nemoidia, Master Plo Koon's starfighter is shot down by his own wingman. The ship spirals into a canyon, exploding on impact. On Utapau, Master Tion Medon is cut down by the clones he considered friends. But many Jedi survive. On Kashyyyk, Master Luminara's prepared battalion protects her, helping evacuate Wookiee civilians while fighting off clone units that still have active chips. On Felucia, Aayla Secura and Commander Bly fight side by side against clone units trying to execute the order. On Kamino, Master Shak Ti, having been recalled hours earlier, leads the liberation of the cloning facilities, removing chips from thousands of clones. The Order is wounded but not destroyed. Palpatine's genocide fails because Anakin gave them warning, because they acted before he was ready. In his office, Palpatine's face contorts with rage when his clones don't turn. He snarls and unleashes force lightning at the nearest Jedi. The blue-white energy crackles through the air. Mace Windu deflects it with his lightsaber, the blade absorbing the energy. Around him, other Jedi ignite their weapons and advance. Palpatine moves like a nightmare given form. He's faster than any of them anticipated, drawing on reserves of dark side power accumulated over decades. His lightsaber appears in his hand, as if from nowhere, its blade blood red. He leaps into a spinning attack that takes down 2 Jedi Knights before they can react, his blade cutting through them like they're made of paper. Aegon Kohler and Saesee Tiin fall, dead before they hit the ground. The office explodes into chaos. Palpatine unleashes waves of dark side energy that crack walls and shatter the floor-to-ceiling windows. Glass rains down into the Coruscant night. The wind howls through the breach. This is the power of the Sith. This is why you were doomed from the beginning. Mace engages him directly, his purple blade meeting Palpatine's red in a shower of sparks. Mace's Varpad form channels the darkness, feeding on Palpatine's malevolence and turning it into strength. But even Mace is being pressed back. Palpatine's skill is extraordinary, honed over decades of secret practice. He's not just a politician who dabbles in the Force. He's a master duelist who spent his entire life preparing for this moment. Kit Fisto attacks from the left, his green blade flashing. Palpatine spins and their weapons clash. For a moment they're locked, then Palpatine's free hand shoots forward and force lightning blasts Kit backward. The Nautolan Jedi crashes into a wall and slumps down, stunned. Anakin rushes forward, his blue blade joining Mace's assault. Together they drive Palpatine back. The Sith Lord is forced onto the defensive, his single blade whirling to block 2 simultaneous attacks. Obi-Wan flanks him from the right. Now Palpatine faces 3 master duelists. He leaps backward, gaining space, and uses the Force to tear apart furniture and hurl the pieces at his opponents. Desks, chairs, shelving, all become projectiles. The Jedi deflect or dodge, but it creates confusion. In that chaos, Palpatine targets the clones, Force lightning arcs toward them. Several troopers are caught, their armor conducting the energy, killing them instantly. The others scatter, unable to shoot without risking hitting the Jedi in close combat. Yoda enters the fray, his small form leaping impossibly high. His green blade strikes at Palpatine from above. The Sith Lord barely blocks, surprise crossing his face. Master Yoda, I wondered when you would join us. Your arrogance blinds you, it does. End here, your reign of terror will. They clash, 2 ancient masters who represent opposing philosophies. Yoda's Ataru form is perfect economy of motion, every strike precisely placed. Palpatine's style is raw power and aggression. The battle rages through the destroyed office and out onto the external balcony. The wind whips their robes. Lightning flashes in the distance, either from Palpatine or from the storm brewing over Coruscant. Palpatine realizes he's outnumbered and outmaneuvered. His plan is falling apart. The chips didn't work. The Jedi came in force. He's facing a dozen masters simultaneously. For the first time in decades, fear touches his heart. He makes a desperate move, channeling all his power into one massive force storm. Lightning arcs in all directions. Wind howls. The very air screams with energy. Several more Jedi fall, overwhelmed by the onslaught. The balcony cracks under the strain. Chunks of Duracrete break away and fall into the abyss below. The remaining Jedi brace themselves, joining their strength to resist. They form a unified defense, their combined force presence creating a barrier against Palpatine's attack. The storm pushes against them, but they hold firm. Mace Windu's Varpad feeds on the darkness, channeling it back at its source. The feedback creates a loop. The more power Palpatine uses, the stronger Mace becomes. Slowly, inevitably, Palpatine's attack weakens. His lightning flickers and dies. He's exhausted, having expended enormous energy. The Jedi advance. Palpatine backs toward the balcony edge, cornered. No, this isn't how it ends. I am the Senate. I am the Republic. You're under arrest. Mace's voice is final. It's over. Palpatine makes one last desperate attempt. He gathers his remaining strength and leaps, trying to escape into the night. But Anakin anticipates the move. He reaches out with the Force and catches Palpatine mid-leap, holding him suspended in the air. The Sith Lord struggles, but Anakin's power is too great. Qui-Gon trained him well. He can channel both light and shadow without being consumed by either. Anakin doesn't attack Palpatine with anger. He doesn't hate him. He simply stops him, holds him, contains him. The difference is crucial. Palpatine is pulled back onto the balcony and slammed down onto the Duracrete. Mace's blade touches his throat. Yield. Palpatine's yellow eyes blaze with fury and hatred, but he stops struggling. He knows he's beaten. His body sags in defeat. The remaining Jedi surround him, lightsabers ready. Clone troopers move in with force-suppressing restraints. Within moments, Palpatine is bound, his connection to the Force disrupted by the specialized shackles. The arrest is complete. Across the galaxy, as word spreads that Palpatine has been captured, the fighting begins to stop. Clone units whose chips were activated are confused, fighting through the compulsion. Some Jedi die in those final minutes, but many survive with the help of clone commanders who retained their free will. The war doesn't end cleanly. There's confusion, chaos, scattered fighting. But the coordinated genocide Palpatine planned becomes a fractured, incomplete tragedy instead. The Jedi Order survives, wounded but intact. In the aftermath, the galaxy reels. The revelation that the Supreme Chancellor was a Sith Lord who orchestrated the entire war sends shockwaves through every system. Emergency Senate sessions convene. Palpatine's emergency powers are immediately revoked. Investigations begin into everyone associated with him, rooting out collaborators and co-conspirators. The Republic teeters on the edge of collapse, trust in government shattered. But slowly, painfully, reconstruction begins. The Jedi face their own reckoning. In the council chambers, a somber meeting takes place. Masters who survived Order 66 report their experiences. The casualty count is horrific. Nearly a third of the Order is dead, killed either by clones or in the fighting that followed. Younglings, Padawans, Knights, Masters. Some of the Order's finest are gone. The temple itself sustained damage when certain clone units attacked before being subdued. The mood is grim, grieving. But there's also an undercurrent of recognition. They survived by the narrowest margin. If Anakin hadn't investigated Palpatine, if they hadn't moved when they did, the Order would have been annihilated. Yoda addresses the assembled Jedi, his voice heavy with sorrow and wisdom. Nearly destroyed we were. Our hubris, our blindness, almost cost us everything. Change we must, or doomed we remain. The old ways have failed. Mace Windu, his face lined with grief and exhaustion, nods slowly. Anakin was right. We've been clinging to dogma while the Sith played us like instruments. The code, our attachment to politics, our rigid philosophy, all of it made us vulnerable. We survived this time. We won't get a second chance if we don't learn from it. Anakin speaks up, his voice quiet but firm. The Order doesn't need to be destroyed, but it does need to transform. We've spent 1,000 years preparing to fight the Sith. We won. Now what? If we just go back to the way things were, We'll create the conditions for a new Sith to rise. The cycle will continue. We'll have won nothing. But if we actually learn from this, if we acknowledge that the Force is bigger than our narrow interpretation, we can become something better, something that actually serves the galaxy instead of just claiming to. Plo Koon asks the question, everyone's thinking. What do you propose, young Skywalker? Anakin takes a breath, choosing his words carefully. A new philosophy, a balanced approach. We acknowledge that emotion, passion, and attachment are natural parts of life. We teach Jedi to work with these feelings rather than suppressing them. We stop forbidding love and family. We withdraw from political entanglements with the Senate. We become true peacekeepers, not generals or politicians. We study both light and dark aspects of the Force, not to use darkness for evil, but to understand it and integrate it safely. We become what Qui-Gon Jinn believed we could be, whole beings who serve the Force itself, not our own narrow definition of it. The debate that follows lasts for days. The Council reconvenes multiple times. Arguments are fierce. Many Jedi resist the proposed changes. It sounds too much like falling to the dark side, they argue. How can you study darkness without being corrupted by it? But others, especially younger Jedi who've seen the Order's failures firsthand, support Anakin's vision. They've watched friends die because the Order was too rigid to adapt. They've felt the weight of rules that made no sense. They're ready for change. Obi-Wan speaks in Anakin's favor, his words carrying weight as one of the Order's most respected members. Qui-Gon Jinn believed in this path. He taught it to Anakin in secret because the Council wouldn't allow it openly. Look at the result. Anakin is the most powerful, most balanced Jedi we have. He faced Palpatine, the most dangerous Sith in 1,000 years, and didn't fall. He felt rage and grief over Qui-Gon's death, and chose justice over revenge. He discovered the inhibitor chips and saved countless lives. The old training would have failed him. Qui-Gon's teaching made him strong. The evidence speaks for itself. Slowly, over multiple sessions, opinion shifts. Not everyone agrees. Some Orthodox Jedi announce they're leaving the Order, unable to accept the changes. Master Oppo Rancisis, ancient and traditional, departs for a life of solitary meditation. Several others follow. The Order respects their choice and wishes them well. But most stay. They're willing to try something new, to evolve, to become more than they were. The vote is finally called. The proposed reforms pass with a strong majority. The Jedi Order will transform. The Reformation begins immediately. The first change is the code itself. For 1,000 generations, Jedi have recited the same words. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. But these words have become a prison, denying fundamental aspects of existence. After much deliberation and meditation, the Council proposes new words. Emotion, yet peace. Ignorance, yet knowledge. Passion, yet serenity. Chaos, yet harmony. Death, yet the Force. The new code acknowledges the full spectrum of existence. It doesn't demand the impossible. The Jedi feel nothing. Instead, it teaches balance. Feel emotions, but don't be ruled by them. Acknowledge ignorance, but seek knowledge. Experience passion, but maintain serenity. Navigate chaos, but create harmony. Accept death, but trust in the Force. It's a harder path in some ways, requiring more self-awareness and discipline than simple suppression ever did. But it's also more honest, more human, more real. Other changes follow rapidly. Jedi are no longer forbidden from forming attachments. The prohibition against marriage and family is lifted. Jedi can maintain relationships, have children, experience love. But they're taught to understand the difference between love and possessiveness, between healthy attachment and toxic dependency. The distinction is crucial. Love that celebrates another person's autonomy is encouraged. Obsessive attachment that seeks to control or possess is still recognized as a path to darkness. It's a more nuanced approach, requiring more wisdom to navigate. But the Jedi are up to the challenge. The Order withdraws from Senate control. This is one of the most difficult changes, as it means redefining the Jedi's role in galactic affairs. For generations, they've served as the Republic's peacekeepers, taking orders from the Chancellor and Senate. But that relationship made them tools of politics rather than servants of the Force. The new structure is different. The Jedi offer counsel when asked. They serve as mediators in disputes. They respond to calls for help from communities across the galaxy. But they don't serve in military capacities. They don't take orders from politicians. They maintain their independence, answering only to the Force and their own conscience. The clone troopers present a complex ethical problem. They were created to be soldiers, designed and bred for a war orchestrated by Palpatine. Now that the war is over and the truth is revealed, what becomes of them? The Jedi advocate strongly for clone rights. These aren't droids or property. They're sentient beings who've been enslaved from birth. The Senate, newly reconstituted and desperately trying to rebuild legitimacy, agrees. Legislation is passed granting clones full citizenship rights. They're offered the choice: remain in military service if they wish, or pursue civilian lives with government support for education and transition. Many clones choose to stay with their Jedi commanders, the bonds formed in war too strong to easily break. Captain Rex remains with Anakin, becoming something like a brother in all but blood. Other clone units form new roles, becoming security forces or rescue workers. Some go to agricultural worlds and learn to farm. Others become engineers, teachers, medics. They're finally free to choose their own paths. The transition isn't easy, but it's necessary and right. The Republic itself undergoes painful transformation. With Palpatine exposed, his emergency powers revoked, and his network of cronies arrested, there's a power vacuum. Senators who supported his agenda are investigated. Some are charged with collaboration. Others claim ignorance of his true nature. The proceedings are messy, sometimes controversial. But they're democratic and transparent, which is what matters. Term limits are implemented for the Chancellor position. Oversight committees are established to prevent any one individual from accumulating too much power. The Senate becomes more decentralized, with regional councils gaining authority. The separatist worlds present another challenge. These systems seceded for reasons that had nothing to do with Palpatine being a Sith Lord. They had genuine grievances about taxation, representation, and Republic overreach. The new Senate, chastened by recent events, takes a different approach. Instead of forcing the separatist systems back into the fold at gunpoint, they open negotiations. Genuine reforms are offered. The terms of membership are adjusted to give Outer Rim worlds more autonomy. Slowly, carefully, many separatist systems choose to rejoin. Some don't, preferring independence. The Republic accepts this. Not every world needs to be part of the Republic. Unity imposed by force isn't real unity. Anakin becomes a central figure in the new Jedi Order, though he doesn't seek titles or positions of authority. He's recognized as someone who embodies the balanced philosophy, living proof that it works. He trains a new generation of Jedi in this approach. His teaching method is radically different from the traditional model. Instead of taking Padawans into seclusion and drilling them in forms and philosophy, he takes them out into the galaxy. They work with communities, help solve real problems, experience life in all its complexity. They learn that the Force isn't something separate from daily existence, but woven through every interaction, every choice, every moment. His students learn to acknowledge their fears, their anger, their passions, their loves. They're taught that feeling these emotions doesn't make them evil or weak. What matters is what they choose to do with those feelings. Do they act from conscious intention or unconscious reaction? Do they hurt others or help them? Do they serve themselves or something larger? These are the questions that define a Jedi, not whether they feel emotions. The training produces a different kind of Jedi. They're more grounded, more human, more able to relate to the people they serve. They laugh more, they cry when sad. They form deep friendships and sometimes fall in love. And they remain Jedi, dedicated to protecting others and serving the Force. Anakin's relationship with Padme becomes public. They have a ceremony in the Jedi Temple, openly married with the blessing of the Council and the attendance of hundreds. It's a watershed moment. For the first time in millennia, a Jedi Knight publicly celebrates love rather than hiding it. Other Jedi follow their example. Master Obi-Wan, who'd always been the perfect traditional Jedi, begins a relationship with Duchess Satine of Mandalore that he'd suppressed for years. They marry within the year. Master Luminara, having survived Order 66, adopts several orphaned Padawans, creating a family unit. The temple becomes livelier, filled with families and children. It's not the silent, austere place it once was. There's laughter, tears, arguments, joy, all the messy reality of life. And the Jedi are stronger for it, because they're connected to the people they protect. The galaxy changes under this new paradigm. Crime doesn't disappear. Conflict doesn't end. The Hutts still run their criminal empire. Pirates still raid shipping lanes. Disputes between systems still erupt into violence. But there's a fundamental shift in how problems are approached. The new Jedi don't swoop in as saviors imposing solutions. They work with communities, empowering people to solve their own problems. They teach conflict resolution, mediation, compromise. They address root causes of violence rather than just punishing perpetrators. It's slower, messier, but more sustainable. When real threats emerge that require combat, the Jedi respond decisively. A warlord trying to carve out a slave empire in the Outer Rim is stopped by Anakin leading a strike force. But they don't massacre the warlord's troops. They offer surrender and rehabilitation. Many take it, having joined the warlord out of desperation rather than ideology. The warlord himself, when captured, is offered a choice: stand trial and face justice, or join a rehabilitation program and work to undo the harm he caused. He chooses rehabilitation. It doesn't erase his crimes, but it's better than execution or imprisonment alone. This becomes the new way. Justice focused on restoration rather than pure punishment. Political landscape stabilizes gradually. The Republic becomes more democratic, more responsive to its citizens. The Senate still has problems. Corruption still exists. Politicians still play games and pursue self-interest. But there are checks and balances now. The Jedi presence as independent peacekeepers helps prevent power from concentrating too much in any one person or faction. It's not perfect. It's messy, complicated, full of compromises. But it's real democracy, not the hollow shell it became under Palpatine. In the Jedi Temple library, ancient Sith holocrons are no longer locked away in secret vaults accessible only to Council members. They're available for study by any Jedi who's completed advanced training, with proper guidance. Jedi scholars examine Sith philosophy not to use it, but to understand it. They learn what drove people to those extremes, what needs weren't being met, how the cycle of light versus dark perpetuated itself. With that understanding, they can address root causes rather than just symptoms. The realization dawns that the Sith weren't evil because they touched the dark side. They were evil because they let it dominate them completely, rejected all light and compassion, and used their power for purely selfish ends. The Jedi had fallen into the opposite trap, rejecting darkness entirely and becoming rigid. Both extremes were flawed. The middle path, the balanced way, is harder because it requires constant self-examination and humility. But it's the only path that actually works. 5 years after the defeat of Palpatine, Anakin and Padme welcome twins, Luke and Leia. The birth is attended by dozens of Jedi and senators, a celebration rather than something to be hidden. The twins are strong in the Force, clearly destined to be Jedi themselves. But they're raised differently than any Jedi before them. They grow up in a loving family, experiencing normal childhood while also training in the Force. They have parents who hug them, who tell them they're loved, who allow them to feel the full range of emotions. They also have teachers who show them how to channel those emotions constructively, how to make conscious choices, how to serve others. By age 10, Luke and Leia are already showing remarkable ability. Luke has his father's raw power and intuitive connection to the Force. Leia has her mother's political brilliance combined with extraordinary Force sensitivity. They train in the temple, but also spend time in the Senate, learning statecraft and diplomacy. They're being prepared not just to be Jedi, but to be leaders who can bridge the gap between Force users and regular citizens. One evening, Anakin takes them to the temple's meditation garden. They sit beneath ancient trees, the Coruscant sunset painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. He produces a lightsaber crystal, holding it up so it catches the fading light. This crystal isn't just a tool, he explains. It's alive in the Force. Like you, like me, like every living thing. The Jedi used to teach that there were only certain colors, certain ways to be. But your grandfather Qui-Gon understood the truth. The Force is infinite in its expressions. Luke looks up with curious eyes. Will we be Jedi? Daddy, you'll be something better. You'll be whole. You'll help others find that wholeness too. Leia, ever the more philosophical of the twins, asks the deeper question. What does it mean to be whole? Anakin considers his answer carefully. It means accepting all parts of yourself, the light and the shadow, the peace and the passion. It means feeling your emotions fully, but choosing consciously how to act on them. It means loving deeply without trying to possess. It means being strong enough to be gentle and gentle enough to be strong. Your grandfather taught me that. Now I'm teaching you, and someday you'll teach others. The years pass. Luke and Leia grow into powerful Jedi, trained from childhood in the balanced philosophy. They never experience the internal conflict that plagued earlier generations. They're comfortable with their emotions, their relationships, their humanity. They become teachers in their own right, spreading the wisdom further. Luke focuses on training new Jedi, developing innovative teaching methods that emphasize experience over theory. Leia becomes a senator like her mother, bringing Force sensitivity and Jedi wisdom into political arena. She's uniquely positioned to bridge the gap between Jedi and government, ensuring cooperation without the entanglement that proved so dangerous. The galaxy continues to heal from the Clone Wars. It's not a quick process. Wounds that deep take generations to fully mend. But the balanced Jedi are there throughout, not as warriors but as healers, mediators, and protectors. They stop pirates, but also work with impoverished communities to address why piracy seems like the only option. They mediate disputes by understanding all sides, not imposing solutions from on high. They teach communities to resolve their own conflicts. They're not saviors descending from above. They're partners in the ongoing work of civilization. Decades pass. Anakin grows older but remains vital, still training new Jedi, still going on missions when needed. His hair grays at the temples, then entirely. Lines appear on his face, marking years of laughter and sorrow. But his connection to the Force deepens with age. He becomes what Qui-Gon hoped for, a living example that balance is possible, that light and shadow can coexist in harmony. He's known across the galaxy, not for destroying enemies, but for building bridges. Children on 100 worlds grow up hearing stories of Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi who changed everything. In his 70s, Anakin gives what will become his most famous lecture. It's delivered in the temple's Great Hall to an audience of thousands, both Jedi and civilians. The speech is transmitted across the galaxy, watched by billions. He speaks of the journey from the old order to the new, of lessons learned through suffering and sacrifice. The Force is not your servant, he tells them. You are its instrument. But that doesn't mean surrendering your will. It means aligning your will with the Force's natural flow. Light and shadow, creation and destruction, peace and passion, all are necessary. Your task is to find your balance within this greater balance. He speaks of Qui-Gon Jinn, his voice thick with emotion, even after so many years. My master saw what the Order refused to see. He understood that we were broken, divided against ourselves. He taught me that wholeness was possible. Everything I've accomplished, everything we've built, stands on the foundation he laid. He died to give me time to learn these lessons. I've tried to honor that sacrifice by passing them forward. Now, it's your turn. The wisdom doesn't belong to me or to any individual. It belongs to all of us, to the Force itself. The audience listens in absolute silence, many with tears streaming down their faces. Padme passes away peacefully in her sleep when they're both in their 80s. Anakin grieves fully. He cries, rage against the injustice of death, feels the emptiness of her absence. But he doesn't fall to darkness. He processes the grief, honors it, and eventually finds peace. She's one with the Force now, her presence still accessible to him in meditation. Death is not an ending but a transformation. He can still feel her sometimes in quiet moments, a warmth in his chest, a whisper in his thoughts. Their love continues beyond physical form. Anakin's own death comes gently when he's 93. He's meditating in the gardens one spring morning, surrounded by flowering trees and the sound of younglings laughing in the distance. He feels it approaching like an old friend, not fearsome but inevitable. His body is simply wearing out, time claiming what is its due. He sends word to Luke and Leia through the Force. They come immediately, accompanied by their own children and grandchildren. 3 generations gather around the old Jedi. I'm not afraid, Anakin tells them with a smile. I've lived fully, loved deeply, made a difference. That's all anyone can ask for. What's your greatest lesson for us, Father? Leia asks, her voice steady despite tears. Anakin takes her hand, then Luke's, that the Force doesn't divide itself. We do. We create categories, draw lines, declare this is light and that is dark. But it's all one energy, one Force, expressing itself in infinite ways. Your job, your generation's job, is to keep teaching that truth. Don't let the Order calcify again into dogma. Keep it flexible, keep it evolving. Balance isn't a destination you reach and then you're done. It's a practice, maintained daily through choice and awareness. He closes his eyes and reaches out through the Force one final time. He feels his children and grandchildren beside him, senses the thousands of Jedi across the galaxy carrying forward the work. He touches the presence of Qui-Gon, waiting in the cosmic force, clear and welcoming. He feels Padme there too, and Yoda, and all the others who've gone before. They're not gone. They're part of everything now, woven into the fabric of existence. He takes a final breath, slow and deep. Then he releases it, releasing everything. His body relaxes. His presence doesn't disappear but expands, merging with the force that flows through all living things. Luke and Leia feel it happen. Their father is gone from his physical form, but he's everywhere now. In the wind rustling through the garden, in the sunlight warming their faces, in their own hearts. Death is just another transformation. The funeral is attended by tens of thousands. Jedi from every corner of the galaxy return to Coruscant to pay respects. Politicians, clone veterans, ordinary citizens whose lives Anakin touched. They fill the temple and overflow into the surrounding plazas. The ceremony isn't somber. Following Anakin's own wishes, it's a celebration of life rather than a mourning of death. Stories are shared. The time he used the Force to juggle training remotes to make younglings laugh. The diplomatic incident he resolved by challenging a stubborn planetary governor to a speeder race. The countless small kindnesses, the patience with struggling students, the willingness to admit mistakes and learn from them. These are the memories that define him, not grand battles or political achievements. Master Luke Skywalker, now one of the Order's senior teachers, delivers the primary eulogy. His voice carries across the gathered thousands. My father was not a perfect man. He would be the first to tell you that. He made mistakes, felt anger, knew fear, experienced all the things the old order taught were weaknesses, but he also taught us that these things are simply part of being alive. What matters is what we do with them. Do we let our anger control us, or do we acknowledge it and choose a better path? Do we let fear paralyze us, or do we act despite it? My father showed us that strength isn't the absence of struggle. It's the choice to keep trying, keep growing, keep becoming better than you were yesterday. That's the legacy he leaves us. Not perfection, but perpetual becoming. The balanced order continues under Luke and Leia's guidance, now joined by a new generation of masters. They face new challenges, new threats. The galaxy is never static, never fully at peace. But they face these challenges with wisdom earned from past mistakes. They don't repeat the errors of the old order. They remain flexible, compassionate, true to the principle that balance is the highest wisdom. They study new Force traditions as they're discovered, learning from the witches of Dathomir, the Barandu sages, the wardens of the Wills. Each tradition has wisdom to offer. The Jedi no longer claim monopoly on Force understanding. Centuries pass. The stories become legends. Historians study the transformation of the Jedi Order, analyzing what went wrong in the final years of the Old Republic, and how one man, guided by his maverick master, found a different path. They write treatises on the importance of balance, the dangers of extremism in any form, the necessity of evolution and adaptation. But beyond the academic interest, the practical reality persists. The galaxy is better because Anakin Skywalker existed, not because he was the most powerful Force user, though he was extraordinarily powerful. Not because he defeated the Sith, though he played a crucial role in Palpatine's downfall, but because he showed that balance was possible, that light and shadow could coexist, that love didn't have to lead to possession, that passion didn't have to become cruelty, that being fully human and fully Jedi weren't contradictory. The prophecy was fulfilled, just not in the way anyone expected. Balance came not through destruction, but through integration. Not through victory, but through wisdom. The Chosen One brought balance not by destroying the Sith or empowering the Jedi, but by showing both philosophies were incomplete, by becoming something new, something whole. In the end, the greatest power wasn't the ability to destroy enemies. It was the courage to look inward, accept all aspects of oneself, light and shadow both, and choose compassion over cruelty, wisdom over certainty, growth over stagnation. That's the lesson that echoes across the centuries. That's the legacy of the true Chosen One. The Force is one, and we are part of it. Not servants or masters, but conscious participants in an endless dance of light and shadow, death and life, ending and beginning. The balance Anakin brought wasn't an endpoint, it was a beginning, an invitation to each generation to continue the work of integration and wholeness. And so the cycle continues, not of light conquering dark or dark overwhelming light, but of both existing in dynamic equilibrium, each necessary, each sacred, each part of the infinite whole. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.